Buckingham Palace gives heartfelt update on Queen Elizabeth's Corgis after Prince Andrew's royal ouster. Welcome back to Crown Chronicles, where we uncover the hidden stories, emotional truths, and royal secrets behind palace walls. If you're fascinated by the British royal family, their triumphs, their scandals, and their most touching moments, then make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because today's story is one that will tug at your heartstrings and keep you listening until the very end. It's been more than 2 years since the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, a monarch whose reign spanned 70 historic years. But beyond her legacy of duty, strength, and grace, the late Queen was known for something far more personal: her deep, lifelong love of animals, especially her beloved Corgis. Those little dogs, with their short legs and big personalities, became almost as iconic as the monarch herself. But after the Queen's death and the royal turmoil that followed, particularly surrounding Prince Andrew, the question many royal watchers couldn't help but ask was, what happened to the Corgis? Who looks after them now, and how are they doing amid the turbulence of the royal family's ongoing drama? Well, at long last, Buckingham Palace has given a touching update, and it's one that paints a surprising and emotional picture. Let's rewind for a moment. When Queen Elizabeth passed away in September 2022, she left behind 2 surviving Corgis, Muick and Sandy, gifts from Prince Andrew and his daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. The dogs were the Queen's pride and joy in her final years. They kept her company at Windsor Castle, especially during the lonely lockdown days when the world seemed to stand still. After her passing, it was confirmed that Prince Andrew and his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, would take over care of the Corgis. Many royal observers found that fitting. After all, the Duke and Duchess of York had both lived at Royal Lodge, on the Windsor estate, and shared a long, if unconventional, friendship despite their divorce. But as time passed and Prince Andrew's reputation collapsed in the wake of his scandal and royal ouster, whispers began to grow. Was the Queen's final wish, that her beloved dogs be cared for, truly being honored? Were the Corgis caught in the crossfire of the Duke's downfall? According to palace insiders, those concerns made their way all the way to Buckingham Palace itself. And so, in a rare move, officials have quietly shared a brief but meaningful update, an update that shows the story of the Queen's Corgis is far from a sad one. In the statement, a palace source confirmed that Muick and Sandy are doing remarkably well and are thriving under the care of the Duchess of York at Royal Lodge. The Corgis are said to be healthy, playful, and adored, with Ferguson personally ensuring they receive the same affection and attention their late mistress once lavished on them. The update also included a small but touching detail that made royal fans smile. The Corgis reportedly still take daily walks through the Windsor grounds, often near Frogmore Gardens, where they once roamed with the Queen herself. They know the paths, said one insider. It's almost as though they're keeping her memory alive in their own quiet way. Yet, despite the warmth of the statement, it's impossible to ignore the complicated backdrop behind it. Prince Andrew, the man who originally gifted those Corgis to his mother, is now one of the most isolated figures in the royal family. Stripped of his titles, his public duties, and his reputation, he's been largely sidelined since his settlement in the Epstein scandal. Recent reports suggest his living arrangements at Royal Lodge are uncertain, with King Charles quietly pressuring him to relocate to a smaller residence. It's said that the Corgis, once symbols of royal continuity and comfort, have now become a bittersweet reminder of everything Andrew has lost: his closeness to the Queen, his royal privileges, and his place in the family hierarchy. But Sarah Ferguson, ever defiant and fiercely loyal, has stepped in to fill that void. Friends say she's thrown herself into caring for the Corgis, often referring to them as her family companions. In interviews, Fergie has even mentioned how the dogs have brought light and laughter back into her life after years of royal turbulence. One royal insider put it beautifully: the Corgis don't care about scandal, hierarchy, or protocol. They only know love, and that's what they're getting. Still, royal observers couldn't help but notice that Buckingham Palace's decision to release this update comes at a sensitive time, right as King Charles continues to manage his strained relationship with his younger brother. Some see the Corgi update as a subtle gesture, a reminder that while Prince Andrew's royal role has been erased, the Queen's legacy of compassion and family care endures. And in many ways, those dogs have become more than just pets. They are living symbols of the late Queen's heart, her warmth, her humor, her constancy. Even in her final days, the Queen found comfort in their presence, often surrounded by them in her sitting room at Balmoral. They were there when she smiled her last smiles, and now, they carry on her memory in the place she loved most, Windsor. For millions of royal fans, this update was a moment of quiet relief, proof that not everything about the monarchy's transition has been loss and upheaval. Amid the royal shakeups, the feuds, and the shifting roles within the family, something pure remains untouched, the Queen's legacy of love. Faithfully carried on by her four-legged friends, it's hard not to picture it, the autumn leaves swirling across Windsor's lawns, two corgis chasing each other happily, unaware of the headlines or the controversies surrounding their home. Somewhere in the distance, the great walls of the castle stand tall, watching over them, as they once did over a queen who adored them more than words could say, and perhaps that's the beauty of this story. Even as the monarchy evolves, and as old wounds heal or deepen, the simplest things, loyalty, love, and companionship, endure. The Queen's corgis have become an unlikely thread connecting the past to the present, reminding everyone that behind the grandeur and tradition, the royal family is just that, a family. One that loves, grieves, stumbles, and continues, just like any other. So as Buckingham Palace assures the world that Muick and Sandy are happy and well, it feels like a small but powerful comfort, a reminder that even amid scandal and change, the Queen's legacy lives on in the wag of a tail and the echo of tiny paws on Windsor's ancient stone paths. Thank you for watching Crown Chronicles. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more heartfelt royal updates, emotional moments, and unseen truths from inside the palace gates. Because here at Crown Chronicles, we don't just tell royal stories. We bring the crown to life.